Finland's decision to pursue the AIM-120D-3 is best understood as a doctrine statement rather than a simple procurement choice. In September 2025, the United States approved a potential foreign military sale in which Finland requested up to 405 AIM-120D-3 advanced medium-range air-to-air missiles, together with associated guidance sections, support equipment, software, and training. The estimated value of the package was about 1.07 billion United States dollars. The scale of this request matters because it signals intent. Finland is not merely equipping aircraft, but building an air-to-air posture designed to function under sustained pressure, with sufficient depth to support training, readiness, and wartime consumption in a high-threat environment. For Finland, a high-threat environment is not an abstract concept. It reflects the operational reality of a small air force defending a large territory, operating under short warning times, and facing the prospect of long-range strikes against fixed infrastructure. Finnish air defense planning assumes that air bases, fuel depots, communications nodes, and logistics hubs would be priority targets from the earliest stages of a conflict. As a result, air-to-air doctrine cannot be built around the assumption of intact runways and predictable sortie generation. It must instead emphasize survivability, redundancy, and the ability to continue fighting while under direct attack. This logic is embedded in the Finnish Air Force's long-standing concept of centralized command, combined with dispersed operations. Strategic decision-making and air battle management remain centralized in order to preserve coherence, while execution is deliberately distributed across a wide network of operating locations. Finland maintains the ability to operate from more than 30 airfields designated as main, remote, or forward operating bases, including civilian airports and highway strips. This structure is designed to deny an adversary a single point of failure. Even if primary bases are damaged, aircraft can relocate, fragment, and continue generating sorties, while command and control remains resilient through duplication and dispersal. Such an operational model imposes specific requirements on air-to-air capability. A force that disperses across many locations cannot rely on constant airborne presence or large-scale offensive sweeps. Instead, it must be able to respond quickly, impose costs rapidly, and preserve its limited assets for repeated engagements. In this context, beyond visual range missiles are not simply weapons. They are enablers of endurance. They allow a small number of fighters to deter, intercept, or disrupt hostile air operations without exposing themselves to prolonged attrition. The AIM-120D-3 fits this requirement precisely. It supports a defensive counter-air posture in which aircraft can engage from advantageous positions, disengage quickly, and survive to fight again. The significance of requesting up to 405 missiles lies not only in lethality, but in sustainability. Such a stockpile supports training, operational readiness, and wartime usage over an extended period. It reflects an understanding that deterrence is not created by a handful of high-end weapons, but by the demonstrated ability to sustain air defense operations over time. Finland's transition to the F-35A reinforces this doctrinal approach. Finnish pilots are scheduled to begin initial F-35 training in early 2026, with the first Finnish aircraft entering service for training in the United States shortly thereafter. The first F-35s are expected to arrive in Finland at the Lapland Air Wing in Rovaniemi in late 2026, initiating the gradual replacement of the legacy Hornet fleet through the late 2020s. This transition period is critical. Finland must maintain credible air defense while simultaneously integrating a fifth-generation platform, retraining personnel, and adapting basing and maintenance concepts. A large-scale AMRAAM acquisition reduces risk during this transition. It ensures continuity in air policing and defensive counter-air missions while the F-35 fleet matures. More importantly, it allows the advantages of the F-35, its sensors, data fusion, and networking to translate into practical combat effect. For Finnish audiences, the emphasis is not on the aircraft's ability to see first in isolation, but on the ability to turn superior awareness into decisive action within a resilient kill chain. That kill chain is designed to function under pressure. Finland routinely exercises large force air operations from dispersed bases, demonstrating that its doctrine is not theoretical. Exercises such as protective fence have focused explicitly on operating from a distributed network of airfields, validating the ability to generate combat power even when infrastructure is degraded. This training reinforces the idea that air-to-air missiles are a form of insurance. They allow limited numbers of aircraft to deliver credible defensive effect, even when sortie rates are constrained. Finland's approach also aligns naturally with NATO's evolving emphasis on agile combat employment. For Finland, this alignment is not a departure, but a convergence. Nordic highway operations and dispersed basing concepts highlighted in NATO exercises mirror Finnish practice rather than replacing it. In this sense, Finland contributes as much to alliance thinking as it absorbs from it. Interoperability, therefore, is not only technical but conceptual. The AIM-120 family, widely used across NATO, supports this interoperability while allowing Finland to scale its stockpile to national requirements. A dispersed air-to-air doctrine also demands discipline in missile employment. In high-threat environments, characterized by electronic warfare, decoys, and ambiguity, indiscriminate firing can rapidly deplete stocks without delivering decisive results. Centralized command plays a critical role here, enabling coordinated engagement decisions, efficient allocation of scarce resources, and a coherent air picture even when aircraft operate from widely separated locations. A deep missile inventory supports this discipline by giving commanders flexibility, the ability to engage when necessary, conserve when prudent, and sustain operations over time. There are, however, clear constraints. The financial commitment is substantial. $1.07 billion United States dollars represents a major allocation of national defense resources, creating pressure to ensure efficient training, sustainment, and operational return. Approval through the foreign military sales process does not equate to immediate delivery, and production schedules and integration timelines will shape when the full capability becomes operational in Finland. Moreover, no missile, regardless of sophistication, negates the realities of modern air warfare. Electronic attack, saturation tactics, and infrastructure strikes remain challenges that must be addressed primarily through doctrine, resilience, and training rather than technology alone. Taken together, Finland's air-to-air posture reveals a coherent strategic logic. The country prepares to defend its airspace under conditions where bases are attacked, communications are contested, and time is limited. It responds by dispersing operations across a wide network of airfields, maintaining centralized command to preserve coherence, and investing in a deep, sustainable missile inventory to support repeated defensive engagements. The introduction of the F-35 beginning in 2026 adds sensor and networking advantages, while the AIM-120D-3 provides the consumable capacity needed to turn those advantages into lasting defensive effect. In the end, the AIM-120D-3 is less a symbol of technological ambition than of national philosophy. Finland's air-to-air doctrine prioritizes survival over spectacle, resilience over display. By combining dispersed operations, robust command and control, and a substantial munitions backbone, Finland seeks to ensure that any adversary must plan not for a quick victory, but for a prolonged contest in which Finnish air power continues to operate when it is expected to be neutralized. In a high-threat environment, that is deterrence by design rather than by declaration.